All right, guys, so we made it back from the Trump rally, and we blew a tire coming back. We had just crossed back into West Virginia, about 30 miles from home, and that's been a nightmare to try to get that fixed. Finally got the truck back home about 2 days later. Nothing but a nightmare, but hey, you know what? It was worth it because we went to a Trump rally, got this cool shirt that I really like, says "Fight, Fight, Fight" on it. And one thing about the rally, I really liked it. It was great, and it was a great honor and tribute to Corey Compiratore and David Dutch and James Copenhaver, who were also injured. But Elon Musk showed up, as you guys know by now, and I've never really liked Elon Musk. He started by supporting the Democrats. Now he switched over, and he showed up wearing a black hat called Dark MAGA. And I just don't like the whole dark reference, because if you remember 2 years ago, he wore that Halloween costume that had the upside down cross on it, and that's not an accident. If you really delve into the story of Elon's upbringing, you know, I don't remember everything, but I remember he was bullied when he was younger, and he was kind of put in a place to achieve that wealth, much like Bill Gates was. So yeah, he's rich, he's going to help Trump win votes for sure, but you know what I want to see Elon Musk do is actually fly to outer space himself and take a video while he does it to prove to everybody that it's all real, which I'm not saying it's not, but you know, these multimillionaires and billionaires, they never want to do that. They want to send other people up there. So he's laying claim that we're going to get to Mars here by the end of the next 4 years. One thing about Elon Musk is the Starlink satellites. He said if they had those active during the hurricane in North Carolina, people would have been able to communicate, and he is right about that. I saw the Starlink satellites in Germany when I was in the Army for the first time. Now, didn't know what it was. You could just see a train of lights, and it was fascinating. For very first, I thought it was like UFOs or something, but I put it together pretty quickly. I was like, there's no way UFOs come in like a big fleet in a long train like that. So I knew what it was. The other guys were kind of freaking out at the time, and that was in 2020. But apparently now the Biden and Harris administration are now saying that they are going to get Starlink satellites up and running now. Well, the damage is done. It could help here for Hurricane Milton coming through. And I was living in St. Petersburg just 2 years ago. Well, that is on a collision course straight for St. Pete and Tampa Bay. And they are now talking, reports are saying that this is possibly going to be a Category 6 hurricane. First time it's ever happened, and it would be unprecedented, and they're already terming this a storm of the century for Tampa Bay. Now, I was there 2 years ago when Hurricane Ian hit. You can actually see a couple videos on that if you scroll way down on my channel here, where it ripped up my umbrella that I paid $13 for when I was working at Dick's Sporting Goods, just shredded it, but it wasn't that bad for us. Now, down south in Fort Myers, I've got a great uncle who lives down there, and it was real bad there. Hurricane Ian was. Now, we're supposed to get Hurricane Milton there, and I'm warning my two friends who live in Tampa, Phil from the Army, and Penny's from Heaven, that you guys have maybe seen earlier on this channel, who does wildcrafting and grows her own herbs for medicine. I worry for them because they're not used to getting a hurricane this catastrophic. They say they always go to the north. Now, Hurricane Ian brought more of the damage up north, south to Fort Myers, but it wasn't that bad 2 years ago. So I'm just scared that this could be what the hurricane was for the North Carolina residents. Now, we know, and it's been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt at this point, that that was geoengineered with HAARP technology, and it was steered with lasers from HAARP from the ionosphere, and you can see that clearly on the radar. The problem is people are now starting to pick up on this and make the connections that it's HAARP, and some people are even finally asking, what can we do to stop them? Those are the questions we need to start asking, because what's being done is bullshit, and the government giving them $750 to people who have lost their homes, their internet access, their mailbox. The Postal Service can't deliver it to them. So how are they going to sign up for it? It's a joke. I mean, and now we've got FEMA. Supposedly they can't even drive past this road blocked sign, so they left. They didn't even help the people past it in one town in North Carolina. So, you know, it's very reminiscent to me of Hurricane Harvey that hit Houston, I believe, in 2016, where you had FEMA boats on the water. People didn't know they were FEMA boats, but they just thought they were people trying to help, and they were rounding up the homeless people. You never saw or heard from those homeless people again. So, and that was 2016, and there were people that came out about it, but this platform quickly silenced that video and took it off. So that was very disappointing. I still remember it because I watched it back then, and that's been 8 years ago. Now, I know Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans was even worse when the levee broke in New Orleans. I was in college at the time, and I remember how devastating that was. We actually got that up in Indiana, and it was pretty bad up there too. So I think the track is going to take this storm through Florida and out into the Atlantic Ocean, so I don't think it's going to affect states like West Virginia or Indiana. But it's going to be very devastating for those people in Tampa Bay and St. Petersburg especially. That's where I was living, right on the coast of Treasure Island. So, and they still haven't recovered from Hurricane Helene. We had boats pushed in from Treasure Island up on the coast and the shoreline up in people's houses and stuff. So, I don't know. But stay tuned. If this really is going to be a Cat 6 storm, first of its kind, the Bible talks about that. In the last days, there will be storms of magnanimous proportion that we have never seen before. And now we're getting reports that HAARP actually controls earthquakes as well. I did not know that. So that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll have more here in another day for you.